Live. Don't be that guy. Okay, I'm live. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to what I would call my own private Idaho, but I'm not in Idaho. No, I am not. I am in northern Alabama, and I am practicing with StreamYard to create some better, hopefully, what I hope is better content. And that will start with changing a little bit of the gradient on this color here, wouldn't you think? Let's see if we can bring a little brightness. There I am. I am not really a redheaded meanie. I'm just a weenie. I'm not a meanie. Okay, we're done. So I have learned some new things here in the StreamYard world. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to present a screen. I'm going to go share a screen. Well, I can't share a screen until I have it open now, can I? No, sirree, Billy Ray Bob, you a tough guy there, Mr. Scotty, so we'll have to go easy here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to go look at a hurricane, and let's look at this hurricane. Hello there, Woodster, listening only. I got you, brother. I've been playing around with my StreamYard, and I wanted to see what I could do about some technology enhancements. And so here I am, and I understand there's a really big hurricane coming our way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to this one here. There we are. There it is. And now I wonder if I can go into here and do anything to, I can't do anything to change that. That's okay. We're gonna work on this. Let's see, what can we do here? Will that do anything? No, that didn't do anything. All right, that's all right. We're looking at Hurricane Lee here, and Hurricane Lee is marching in an ever-present way. It's moving its west-northwest at 11 knots, 13 miles per hour, and I'll go ahead and take a look at Lou. While I'm doing this, I'm also going to run some new things, if you can hear. Survey says, here we go, a little new chyron at the bottom there to ask you to please smash the like button and subscribe. And to do that to all those who are in the stream. So let's take a look here at what we have in this advisory for Hurricane Lee. We can see some of the pathway, lots of dangerous surf, Leeward Islands, and then it's going to affect Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, the Turks and the Caicos, Bahamas, and Bermuda. And I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the wind profile. There's another one we see further out, but it's going to go just north of the Bahamas. So my concern at this point, if we don't have anything to turn it, is that it's going to smash into the Carolinas, and we'll see most likely the Carolinas there. So there we have. So that's problematic. Again, welcome to my little slice of what we like to call the universe, or the YouTube verse, and what we're doing today is we're practicing with some technology here, changing things, and asking people some questions here on the screen while I play around in the weather world. And there we are. Well, actually, we're going to hide that and hide that. There we go. This is the wind scale, the wind probability charts for speed, and we see all this area here. So the outer bands are going to hit Puerto Rico in a significant way, as it will the Dominican Republic. So based on that, let's go see if we can find some discussion on this. We'll look at the cone static. There we go. So they're already starting to show somewhat of a northward turn by Wednesday. Who knows? This may actually completely miss the lower 48, and that would be a blessing by any means. For all those who would be in the path of such a devastating hurricane as it is right now. Let's go and see what else I have. Some, no, we don't need that. Key messaging, the key messaging, thank you. The core is expected to be well north of the Leeward Islands. Yep, we saw that. Too soon to what level of impacts, if any, Lee might have on the U.S. coast. And let's be in prayer for that to be a swing and a miss. The last time we had, then we have Margot. Margot is already out in not even to the central part of the Atlantic, and it looks like it will turn northward, and that would be again a blessing for sure. For sure, we're going to go ahead and look at Central Pacific real quick. At Central Pacific, we have Jova that has moved off. It's a hurricane. It's a pretty significant one, moving at a decent clip at 16 miles per hour. And then in the Eastern Pacific, again, we do see Jova chewing up things there. But again, the big story is here in the Atlantic with Lee. I do believe our friend in the weather business, Ryan Hall is in the area here. So let's go back here. Okay, sorry about that. And I forgot to turn up the comments. Hey, Dawn, how are you? Hi, Lisa. Yeah, I hope Lee misses the U.S. altogether. I hope you don't mind. I'm exercising with this whole new capability that StreamYard presents. And I've been seeing people run tickers, and there it is. There's a little ticker that can run along the side here. And then, of course, one of our favorite things to ask here in the home of the home of Scotty P and the house of Scotty P is, hey, what's your non-scale victory today? How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing well today? I know that we have Woodster streaming. I'm wondering how the hours have gone for viewing hours for Woodster. I think hopefully they are improving. I know mine are improving somewhat. And now we're going to take a look at some satellite photography of all this. I'm hoping. Let's see what they have here. They'll give me any satellite pics in the page. That's Hurricane Jova. Yeah. And if we went down here, we can maybe preparedness, search, development, forecasts. Well, maybe we'll look here in the forecast branch. Let's see what we have. Doodly doodly doo. I'm looking for some graphical products. That's right. Let's look. I don't need a low resolution one. We're going to go see. No, we don't. Okay. I know how to work with this a little bit. So we'll go right back to the National Weather Service. We'll go to satellite. Let's take a look at these ugly storms. See what we can see here in the Atlantic. And we'll go, again, I love that band 9, the water vapor, because you don't get confused by too many clouds. 447, I'm not understanding that, to be honest with you, but I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so we're just going to go with it. There we are. We're looking right here, and we can see that big, a large area of low pressure, and it's really going in an awkward position as it's dropping into the base of this trough and going from the north due south into the panhandle of Florida, and causing some havoc there, I'm sure, for the panhandle and for Georgia and part of the South Carolina. Here in the 100-acre woods, we're right in between it, so it's pretty nice. As we look out into the Atlantic, there it is. There's that hurricane. You can see a very large wind field and very dynamic as it's spinning here. And then the next one out over here off the coast of Africa. So a little bit of information, not a lot to look at and work with, but I would say that this deep trough right here, this should pick up this large area here, if you looked at it, right along this yellow banding to the dark blue or violet, and then on up. This is an area of low pressure. This is induced high pressure ridging right here, and this should pick this feature up and move it off to the north northeast, because that's how this tends to work. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to hide a couple of things here. We'll leave that up there like that. So what do you all think about the added benefits here? I don't know if you can see them well, Lisa or Dawn. I know Woodster's just listening, so we'll have to see. I think I may have to not do the looping play, because for some reason that looping play, I don't think it's doing any well. And I have read where if you end up, there are people who actually try to cheat, which is never good, right? And that what they do is they join certain servers, and in those servers, what they do is they do this right here. There, In those servers, what they'll do is have a list of YouTube channels to go to, and in those YouTube channels, you go to them, people just like, follow, subscribe, and go through and have no interaction, and that gets you in trouble. So maybe we cease and desist with the looping watch, because maybe that's ignorance of a law doesn't absolve us from the consequences of breaking it. Therefore, maybe what we do is we slow our roll on that, and instead just let it be organic. If we can watch, we watch, and when we interact, and that'd be the way of it, because I don't want anybody getting a lifetime strike or ban. Don is saying we are having lots of thunder. Yep, I know you are, one after the other. I can see that here. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the lower 48 in a way that is beneficial. Well, actually, here, we'll go look at this one here. Get a little bit more. We're going to look at this one right here. That will give us the thunderstorms. A non-scale victory. I'm seeing a visitor in my parent. All right, there you go. Yeah, I get it. I catch myself going by in the mirror, and I don't want to be vain. However, I don't want to not recognize and acknowledge what this way of life has been doing for me. So looking at this satellite picture, we can see the thunderstorms. This is if we actually put on enough to let it be seen. Let's go. Let it be, let it be. Okay. There we see lots and lots and lots of, there we go. Lots of thunderstorms moving in here. It's like what we call a wraparound. If you were to look at this here, cold front is here, warm front. This is the warm front. Out ahead of that warm front, you have a lot of overrunning air, and you get a lot of thunderstorm activity here. And then you get to this area here is the occluded area, and it can be quite dynamic, particularly if we have a snow event, but we're not having that. So, yeah, look, oh, well, watch this right here. You see this big thunderstorm complex here? And watch, you'll see a little wave come out of it right here. See that wave? That's very rare to catch. What that is the thunderstorm died right there. Oh, it didn't pause. There. And what happens is when I'm not going to be able to do this, am I? I like to be able to do these things. Let's see if I can do it here. We're going to go and see if I can capture it. I don't know. Right here, this thunderstorm is going to give up the ghost. And the bottom's going to drop out, and all that cold air. There you go. See right here? So here you have this red colors indicating that it's really active. And you start to see a little like a bow echo loop here. And then as it dies, all that cold air from 50, 60,000 feet up, it rushes down to be like a, what do you call those? A microburst. And there it starts. See it? It's running. And look how fast it's moving. All of this area is moving, running across the ocean there and creating lots and lots and lots of havoc in its wake. We can see those thunderstorms up there. Odd question here, but you've seen a bit about weather being created. Okay. I have seen some, and I know that in the weather business, we talk about it at times like seeding clouds for rain. I mean, it's a very realistic, very much a true thing that happens. So let us not deny the obvious. Man-made, yes. Manipulated, yes. I am with you. So the issue that arises from such a commentary, right, is let's look here on Conway, Myrtle Beach. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to go down to another set of charts I'm not going to get to. Oh, boo-hoo. We can affect weather. Matter of fact, there was a time when we impacted weather, and it was in a very negative way. The federal government went out and decided to play in a hurricane that was off the East Coast, and they dropped a bunch of dry ice. So not getting into too much meteorological mumbo jumbo, dry air at the mid-levels causes lots of unique dynamic things to happen. Of course, dry ice, very cold, very dry. And so when they seeded that area, what happened is the hurricane that was going out to sea, that hurricane ended up strengthening and turning to the left, going because it gets stronger and stronger. So all of a sudden it's veering back to the left, and it hit land and caused many millions of dollars of damage. So they kind of stopped doing that, and with good reason. And so it was problematic. So can they control some facets of weather? I think the better word would be, can we influence it? So yes. However, the challenge with weather is the amount of dynamics in the atmosphere. So we have all been listening to ad nauseum for the last 15 years about climate change. First, it was global warming. Back in the 80s, it was global cooling. And then all the people came out of the woodwork trying to latch on to the government payroll. So they were engaged in getting government money for their pet projects. First thing we should remember is that an ice age is defined by the fact that there is ice on the poles. Of course, the Earth doesn't sit North Pole over South Pole. It's tilted. We know that. But if there's ice on the poles, we're in an ice age, according to all scientific reasoning prior to 1999. After that, then they've just thrown reason out the window. So we are in an ice age. And there was a time when the ice extended all the way down to here I can't point to the screen, so I have to use my marker right here, when the Great Lakes were carved from glacial activities. So technically we're in an ice age, and we have oscillations within that. Can we impact our weather? Yes. Do we have man-made impacts? Yes. To what level will those rise to impact global conditions? Well, let me ask you. If I dropped 5,000 elephants off the Empire State Building, okay, let's not hurt elephants. If I dropped every politician, no, we shouldn't do that either. Okay, if I dropped 500 locomotives from the top of the Empire State Building onto the ground below, would all the police in New York be able to stop them from hitting the ground? No. The amount of energy that's harnessed in the oceans from just temperature and in forests, the amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen far exceeds anything we do. A volcano can put out more CO2 gases than we will ever put out. That's just one. And there are hundreds of active volcanoes and thousands if you count the ones that are underwater. But that isn't to say dumping dioxins into the atmosphere, into lakes is good, or carbon CFCs, right? Or that cities with their large buildings and all their temperature don't create heat island effects. But globally, it's suspect at best. So I hope that answers you. But yes, we do try. All I do know, I always told people when I was in the military weather business, people would ask me, they still do at my church, my pastor will say, hey, we got a picnic coming up. What's a weatherman going to do for us? And I say, I'm not going to do anything because I'm in sales. I'm not in production. Because if I were in production, they'd have me at the bottom of a room somewhere in the Pentagon creating and making bad weather for enemies. I will also say our saying, our motto at one point in time in the Air Force military weather business was, we own the weather, we exploit the weather. So We know that certain radars work on certain frequencies, and those things have certain performance parameters given various atmospheric phenomenon. Knowing that, we can take advantage of it. I remember working with the equipment, and I could tell our commanders, if you want to go to a certain place at a certain time, and you're going to use a certain, well, let's see. If you want to be at a place at a time, I'll tell you what's going on and how the weather would impact it. And I could also say, hey, if you're going to be using infrared type of systems, then you need to know when your targets are hot, when your background is cold, and vice versa, and what the crossover point. You need to know what the wind patterns are, so you know what your downwind, upwind impacts are from the system of choice, so that you can understand what the potential for collateral damage is. So weather was utilized a lot in that regard. We develop a lot of our military systems to be able to operate in what they call all weather, and they're successful to various degrees. But the idea is we're really trying to take it. Now, Dawn says, drove 2.5 hours and your legs didn't swell up. That is awesome. Were you using any kind of, were you using any kind of compression stockings or anything like that? I know that many times, like I have a drawer full of compression stockings, and I have tan ones and black ones. Yeah. Interesting. Love the military. Yep. Yep, we got a lot of stuff with laser weaponry and a lot of challenges with it, and it is the thing of the future. It's just getting the scales of what's required into manageable things, like the electromagnetic railgun. I'm sure you've seen those, where we don't have to use a propellant anymore, but that they can send something at Mach 9, Mach 12. That it's made out of aluminum, and when it hits you based on its mass, there's nothing that you can do, because it will just basically cause almost like a fusion type situation, and the amount of energy upon collision is enough. And so using those things to knock out missiles and things like that, very interesting. Radio waves, microwaves, and all of those are just energy, right? Forms of energy. So when we have a form of energy that can be guided and directed, then we end up being able to defend ourselves a little better. That's the hope, right? So I think that it's a bold world we are in. It can be quite a fearful world, but yeah, the military stuff, very cool. I've had a good fortune. I worked at a couple of interesting agencies. Being a weather person, weather people get included on a lot of things in the test and evaluation world. I remember at one point in time in my career, I was, first of all, as we know, before I was saved, I was not a good person by many different means and ways of measurement. And then I met my wife, and my life was turned around, and I was greatly rewarded for it. And I ended up doing quite well in the Air Force. And so when you do bad, you don't get a lot of choice. When you do well, you get more choice. And I was getting moved, and they offered me a position in Nevada, and I was interested in it. And for people like JT, and folks who follow like maybe extraterrestrial things and spaceships, I would have been working out in some areas in Nevada on a regular basis. But I decided that I would turn down that opportunity, that I wasn't going to be chasing UFOs and aliens like that. Instead, I was going to live my life with my wife, because that life is extraordinarily demanding on one's family. So I chose instead to not do that. And I went out to Nebraska and it worked out really well. But yeah, I had a chance to work on a lot of weapon systems and with a lot of weapon systems. As it was, I supported a lot when I was stationed in New Mexico. We have a lot of very interesting things happen out there. And of course, weather is an important aspect in the test and evaluation process. So I got to get involved with a lot of those type of things at one point or another. Then I went to Nebraska, and in my military career there, I worked in plans and programs and acquisitions. And that allowed me to, again, get hands-on with a lot of very interesting and cool things. I'm glad I got to go to the beach yesterday. Yep, a little vitamin D and the sea. You know, Dawn, I'm really interested in that. Have you done any reading about, I just was introduced maybe 2 weeks ago in a video from Robert Bubba Baker. And he talked about going out in the ocean. Pardon me. He talked about going out in the ocean to get lots of different types of salt. I mean, I just think it's, salt is salt, right? I don't know that there's all those different types. I'm sure there's different chemical isotopes and ionization and things like that, but I don't see why not. But it was interesting to hear that and just think that, we're supposed to get iodine and we're supposed to get salt, and there's a lot of things in suspension. And it's interesting because I know that I've done some research. I tried to make lotions, so I render tallow from beef fat. And when I made up some tallow, one of the things I did is I made some pemmican for long-term storage purposes. So I made some pemmican. And then I also took the tallow and I made some lotions. And I gave them to my coworkers, and I used some essential oils and stuff. And I made a lotion, a very simple lotion out of a hand lotion out of the tallow, some organic extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of that stearic acid, and again, as I said, some essential oils. And that stuff was really good. I mean, when you coated your hand with it, you could do dishes for hours and it wasn't going to get in. But what I learned in that process, and they also talk about this in making your own soap, whether you make cold soap process or hot soap process, saponification and all that. But you learn about surfactants. And surfactants are basically because your skin, ta-da, is an amazing feature in your body. And it's really hard to get stuff from the top of your skin into your skin if you don't use a lot of creative chemistry. As I was talking to last night when I had to get the hormone treatments, for the low T, you just can't put that and lay it on there. The ability to be absorbed into the bloodstream is extraordinarily limited. As we know from listening to the dissertations from the different doctors here in the carnivore world about how, yes, there's protein in soy, and yes, there may be protein in the peanuts and protein in broccoli and stuff, right? But it isn't bioavailable. Or as we talked about, iron. Yes, there's lots of iron in spinach and lots of iron in kale. But is it heme iron? No. Is it bioavailable? No. And what good is it to have a tremendous amount of product in your body that you can't get a hold of and you can't use? So I don't see why that wouldn't be true everywhere else. All right, so I don't go in the water. Amoeba in warm. Yep, not healthy. Got it. Lisa, goodbye. Okay, take care. You too. Thank you for dropping by. Plus, with Idalia, who knows? That's right. That's right. You don't know what's out there. That's a no bueno situation, right? So, yeah. So to get things into our bloodstream, right, and to get things absorbed, it takes a lot of work. Hence why they have alcohols and stuff they call surfactants that will break that tension. So I don't know if there's a surfactant in the ocean that would allow all those things. But, however, if you've ever been on the ocean at night when they have the big lights on, maybe from a restaurant or something, you can see all the little tiny particles. Hello there, Bypass. Hello, hello. Welcome. Good to see you. How are you doing today? Trust all is well by you. When you look in the atmosphere, you can see all the tiny particulate matter from the sea spray. And as my friend who has the a motorhome and a mobile motorhome that he takes down to, or trailer, I guess, that he takes down to Texas, how has been for the past couple of years, and how he's learned that that sea spray, and he's retired Navy too, but how that sea spray just attaches itself to everything and starts to cause some rust and decay, right? Well, if we're breathing that in, we're going to get that into our lungs and into our sinuses. And I do believe we're supposed to breathe in through our nose. And there's a reason for that. Because our nose and our sinus were designed for things. And as a matter of fact, now, as you all get used to being here, you're going to find me go squirrel a lot. And this squirrel could be informative to you. Okay, here we go. All right. I have here in my hand a little Stanley steamer. I don't even know if I have it. What do I do? I gotta remember. No. This little Stanley steamer, how do I turn that bad boy on? I gotta go like this, and I put it. No. Maybe I do it like this. Yeah, no. Well, that's the little battery in it, and it has a little water tank in it. And it's supposed to be so you can, there it is. Okay. I'm learning. Stand by. What you said? I'm learning. Okay, here's my little Stanley steamer, right? And I can move it like this as a facial steamer. And I move it like that, it charges up. And out of that little tiny area right there, the silver one, I think right out of in here, it will mist whatever I have in the tank. So I want to see if it does it. I gotta remember how it does it. Maybe I should read my instructions. Well, I'll fill it up. So what this little tank does in here, and I gotta look at it. There. So you can see there's a little clear tank. And I read, and because it's on the internet, it makes it true, right? I had read where if you take vitamin D, and I bought some microtonized vitamin D, right? And I mix it with a little bit of distilled water, and I put it in that tank. And then when I open this up, it will send out a puff of finely misted mist that has the vitamin D in it, and that the nasal cavity is highly sensitive to vitamin D. And there's some research on it. If you Google it, vitamin D taken through nasal puffs. So you can take much less vitamin D and have a much better absorption in your body. And I was doing that for a while. Pretty cool. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We have Diane, the lioness hiker. She's in. Howdy. How are things in your neck of the woods of Oklahoma? We were looking at it a little earlier, and we could see that in the great state of Oklahoma, there might be some rain, a low pressure out there near the panhandle coming in. Yeah. Yep. So it's a little bit of a challenge there for everybody. There we go. I've been playing around trying to work on some layouts, and I have some new ways of doing it where I can bring people in. So if anybody wants to come in, let me invite people here. I'm gonna copy it. Okay, I paste it here in the text, and there we go. And let me know, and I'll bring you on board, and we can discuss. But we're looking at the weather today a little bit. Hello, Allison. You're in route to Colorado. Just listening. Hello, hello, hello. What takes you to the great state of Colorado? Colorado right now is looking pretty good for weather today. Tomorrow, they'll look pretty good. Travel through Kansas. I don't know which way you're going, Allison, but if you're flying into Colorado, it looks pretty good. But it's Sunday. Sunday, it's going to be a little dicey getting in and out of Denver. They do have an area of some heavy rain and flooding possible in Kansas, Nebraska, Colorado, and the panhandle of Texas. A lot of widespread showers all the way through the Midwest, upper Midwest. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. All righty, all righty. I'm glad to see everybody. You're right. So driving, you're driving also. Okay, all right. Well, don't look at the phone. Just listen to the sultry and sonorous tone of your host, Scotty P. Now, never done a live. Too chicken to try something like that yet. Don't. You know what? If you get your camera set up, hello, Renee. Good to see you. Not even after Mr. Scotty is practicing. I found some new things to do here. And if those who can see, those who can't, don't worry about it. Well, look at this here. I now have a ticker. Please smash the like button and subscribe to all in the stream. Or I can run another one here. It says, what are your most recent non-scale victories? And finally, last but certainly not least, please go to at Homestead How for more information on the carnivore documentary. And be sure to participate in the 24-hour live stream on November 16th. Oh, that's right, a Carnathon coming to a screen near you. Anyway, I've been playing with it, put some colored backgrounds in, and I didn't know I could do this in StreamYard, and I decided to give it a whirl. And there's my whirly-burly. That's all I have with all of that. But hey, you know, we have to try new things. Well, we should try new things. All right, afternoon hour. That's right. You know, every hour is a late hour somewhere. You know, Jimmy Buffett wrote that song. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Sad thing about that whole thing with Jimmy Buffett, he was a professed, and he was a vehemently professed non-believer. So the door is closed. His opportunity has escaped him. It is my sincere hope and prayer that he made things right, just like that prisoner that hung on the cross next to Christ. But I don't know what to say other than that. FYI, I will be on JT's show, the Poco Moonshine Family Show, later on. Professional Scott. Well, I don't know about professional Scott, but what I can say is if you have a question, comment, or query, I'm always here to offer my opinion, and we know what those are. They're just like elbows. We all have them, they're pointy, and nobody really wants them. But I would be more than happy at any point in time, Bypass, if you want to come on. This is a safe space. About a week or so ago, Limitless Lindy from Down Under, she had her gear there. She went on, and it provided an opportunity to realize this isn't something to be terribly concerned about. And I will do my very best to ensure that nothing is done or said or goes awry, because I take no glee. I get no kick out of hurting people or denigrating or putting them down. This is a safe space for whoever wants to come aboard. Yeah, don't hit the elbow. They hurt. And like I crushed this one. It has problems. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Elbows are what elbows are. And my mom used to hate my elbows, and I'll just leave that like that. Having a son over 6 foot tall was not good, especially when I had no awareness in my awkward phase and they just flail about, No bueno. But yeah, I just thought I'd come on and I would try out this new format. You can see now we have a little bit of color here. I've picked a beautiful orange color. I like this color. It's a fall color, and so I take some pride in trying to make now maybe a branding, if you would. Yeah, branding. So with that, if anybody has a non-scale victory or anything they'd like to share that's gone on today, I'd be more than happy. Otherwise, I can continue on in some of this. My latest, what do we want to call these? Trying to think of it, foray into something extra. All right. Yeah, bull in a china shop is an understatement. All right. And then when I was young, people told me I looked like a skeleton made out of toothpicks wrapped in wet toilet paper. That was the description of me up until my sophomore, junior year in high school. Yep. So those things change, and I'll talk about that more on another day when we talk about stupid things young men do. Lioness is telling us she walked 10 miles yesterday. Wow. I got to pack a lunch in my car to go 10 miles. That is not in my vocabulary yet. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't put it in my vocabulary. I don't want to be ridiculous like that. However, it isn't something I do often. So one of the things I've been doing is I've been playing around. Maybe you've seen, I've been playing around with this program, and it's called FL Studio, like Fruity Loops, because I want to make my own music. And for doing this, and I came up with one. I don't know if I saved it. Let me see what recent files I have, and I'll play it. No, user data. I don't know what I did with it. Well, that's not going to work. Oh well, if I figure it out one day, I'll share. But what I did is pattern, no effects, no, I don't want that. What I did is I started reading scripture, and I've added some vocoder to it and a little bit of music, and then I can play it low underneath my videos. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. You're 5'11", the fifth grade. Yes. Wow. So I'll have to ask this question, Renee, if you don't mind. How tall does that make you now? Yeah, 10 miles is absolutely incredible. Yeah. Yeah, walking to the chicken coop. I'm with you. My sister-in-law, she had chickens. She lived out in Oregon, and she had some chickens. And it's a lot more work. Her partner at the time was all about, let's do chickens, let's make chickens. And the bottom line was that didn't work out well at all. Here's my first cello. Can I play this? I don't know. Can I do this with it? No. Here, we'll play it. No, I don't think so. I like to write with a cello. I will go back to that another day. I'm learning it, and all it's doing is aggravating me to no end. Yep. But the sister-in-law had chickens until she didn't like it. That's for sure. I only got to 5'11". Oh, yeah, disc problems. I get it. 5'11" is what. Well, the young ladies do tend to mature much, much, much quicker than the men folk. And so I was always pretty much tall for my age. Don't get me wrong, but I was never all that tall. Then all of a sudden, in my senior year, I started growing higher and higher. And I got out of high school, and then I shot up to 6'5", and then a little bit later, I got out to 6'5". No, I didn't get to 6 foot. Well, I don't know. No, I got to over 5 feet around. They're about 5 foot around. That's no bueno. But we're working on it. That's why we're here now. That's why. Yep. Yeah, there wasn't any boyfriends for you to high school. Well, you probably didn't need them. Quite honestly, knowing how boys are, having a daughter. No. And what a distraction. What a distraction that is. I really wish it could have been different. I do. But you put those in one hand and you put your bills in the other and see which one fills up quicker. So, yeah, my brother had 5 daughters, or 5 children, 5 daughters. He's estranged from all but one. But it's a tough road. It's a tough road, all because of a lot of things. And we understand that it's God's provision. And he gave us free will, and there are repercussions for that. But it's all under control. And so we just need to find our way and navigate our way through all of this, right? So there we are. And I would just think I would do this here and put this little Chiron on the bottom. What do you all think? Those of you who can see it and those that can comment without risking life or limb, I would never want that. What are your thoughts about what you're seeing as far as the new layouts here with the colors and the Chirons and the banners? Yeah, I'm praying for him now. I've got it. My youngest is heavy on my heart at this time, and it's just the way it is. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. Trying to work on it here. You know, if I'm going to spend $20 on it a month, I better work on it, right? That's what this StreamYard is costing, $20 a month, and I am not going to get monetized anytime soon here on YouTube, and there may be a chance that I will never get monetized for extraneous reasons. So we'll just leave that where it is. But you know what? If it's ordained to be that I can grow an audience here in YouTube verse, I was talking with my wife the other day. There are maybe some merchandise opportunities that I would like to look into. And we'll try that because I am retired. Yeah, your youngest is out there too. Yeah, it's hard. You have made it look more professional. Looks good. Thank you. Hey, don't worry. I'm getting there. I'm getting it. Here's, and I'll address it a little bit now. So my desire and my request for additional funds for this is driven by making sure the hobbies pay for themselves. And so with that, I have this thing of needing to find a way to pay for it. But the truth of the matter is I retired because I could afford to retire. And $20 a month in no way, shape, or form puts me in a bind. I'm not going to have to eat dog food. No one's going to go without for the $20. No, that's not true. But I just want to get the hobby to pay for itself. So maybe what I can do, you know how I made the wooden spoons or some other things I make. I'm thinking like, I make silver jewelry, right? And instead of making rings, because rings are notoriously difficult and all that, I was thinking maybe I could make some solid silver crosses and do some work with that. You know, things like that I can, a tangible art item that's an article that I can trade, you know, for a love offering, so to speak. But it's all about letting the hobby, so to speak, pay for itself. That's where I'm at. I want to read Bypass's statement here. The message streamed by fine, but you first keep freezing. Ooh, uh-oh. Does anybody else have a problem with my video of freezing up? That'd be really good to know. All right. Freezing, but well, let me try something here. Maybe I get rid of this and that and this. All right. And then I go over to the banner and take the ticker off and just let it be like that. Maybe it could be better. It could be that my internet service is tanking, and that would be no bueno. Why is my... Wait a minute. It's saying that why is this connecting wirelessly to my computer? That could be my issue. What? My computer's... Okay, folks, we got me. We got me. That's my problem. It's my problem on my end. Technology. Hobbies don't make money. I think a donation on a website would cover your... I might do that. Just I got to figure out how to put a button on there for a donation. Maybe I could do the old the tip. Yeah, buy a cup of coffee. It's just me. Yeah, I bet you dollars to donuts. For some reason, my computer is logging in. My system is logging into this via wireless, and it's plugged in directly. Huh. Okay, I hate to do this to everybody, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the live down until I fix it. And when I can come back, I'll come back gangbusters. How's that? Well, I'll try to do it now. Let's see what we can do now. If I kill it, then I apologize, but we shouldn't be on Wi-Fi here. I didn't understand that. This is my Bluetooth. I'm gonna turn that off. No, I don't need to turn that off. I don't understand what is going on here. I'm gonna turn that off too. I don't need that open. But I don't understand why I'm even writing my Wi-Fi. This is absolutely infuriating. So I'm gonna take it down, see if I can fix it. If I can, I will. If I can't, I won't. But I'll let you know. I appreciate each one of you being out here. Again, thank you for letting me know. I really appreciate that bypass, and I'm going to figure this out. Take care now. All right. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.